Let's talk about $5. What can it get you? Now that seems like a super simple question, right? But the answer can be the difference between a quick snack and an entire day's worth of food, and it all depends on where you are in the world. Seriously, take a second and think about it. For you, right now, what's $5? Maybe a fancy cup of coffee? An hour of parking? Not even a full gallon of gas these days. Okay, hold on to that thought, because we are about to put that little fiver to the ultimate test.
You see, for a lot of people, that $5 bill is just enough for one single cup of coffee. But for millions of others, that exact same bill can cover breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So how is that even possible? That's the fascinating economic mystery we're going to unpack today. To really get our heads around this huge difference, we're going to head to two very different places on the globe. Think of them as our economic laboratories. First up, Switzerland, one of the most expensive countries on Earth. And our second stop, Vietnam, a country famous for its much lower cost of living. So the experiment is pretty straightforward. We're taking the same $5 and seeing what it actually buys in these two completely different worlds. We're not talking about bank exchange rates or anything like that. We're talking about turning that cash directly into real-world stuff.
All right, let the showdown begin. We're putting Zurich, Switzerland, head-to-head with Hanoi, Vietnam, to see the real, on-the-ground power of our $5 bill. And we're starting with something most of us can't live without.
Coffee. Okay, so in Zurich, $5 gets you one standard cappuccino, and you probably won't be getting much change back, if any. But in Hanoi? Whoa! That same fiver could get you 4, maybe even 5 cups of their incredibly delicious, strong local coffee. And you'd probably have enough left over for a snack.
Now let's talk about a proper meal, like lunch. Back in Zurich, your $5, well, it's not even going to get you a basic fast food burger combo. You're just out of luck. But in Hanoi, you can sit down to a massive, steaming, incredible bowl of authentic pho with all the fresh herbs and sides, a full, amazing meal, for the same price.
Let's just look at this visually for a second. In Switzerland, $5 gets you about half a meal. Half. In Vietnam, it can comfortably buy you 3 full, local meals. The difference isn't just small, it is absolutely monumental. So this brings us to the big question, right? It's the same piece of paper, it's the same $5. Why does its value stretch like a rubber band in one place and then snap in another? Well, it's not magic, it's economics. The secret behind all of this is a really powerful economic idea called purchasing power parity. We usually just call it PPP for short, and this is the key that unlocks the whole puzzle. So what is it? Okay, as an economist, this is one of my absolute favorite tools. Purchasing power parity is basically a theory we use to figure out what money is actually worth in different places. We do this by looking at the price of a standard basket of goods, everyday things like a loaf of bread, a haircut, a bus ticket. The prices for these things are all over the map because of local wages, taxes, and just how much it costs to make things there. Here's the easiest way to think about it. PPP isn't about how many Vietnamese dong you get for 1 Swiss franc. It's about how many cups of coffee you can buy. It's the stuff exchange rate, not the money exchange rate. And that's a much more real way to measure value, don't you think?
And look, this is so much more than just a cool travel hack for your next vacation. Understanding purchasing power parity fundamentally changes how we measure entire economies and how we understand well-being around the globe.
We economists rely on PPP for some incredibly important work. It lets us make more accurate apples-to-apples comparisons of how big different economies really are. It's absolutely essential for measuring global poverty and understanding inequality. It just gives us a much clearer picture of the actual standard of living people have. So, here's the crucial point. Looking at income alone can be totally misleading. An annual salary of, say, $10,000 in Zurich means you are really struggling. But that same amount in Hanoi could offer a very comfortable life. See, true economic well-being isn't just about the number on your paycheck. It's about the ratio of what you earn to what things cost. And PPP helps us see that reality. And all of this leads us to the big takeaway. Understanding this concept kind of forces us to redefine what it even means to be wealthy. It challenges our entire perspective on money. It really boils down to this central idea. A salary that looks low by, say, Swiss standards might be more than enough to provide a high-quality, even a luxury lifestyle in a place like Vietnam. Value is completely relative. So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Is true wealth the number you see in your bank account? Or is it the freedom, the experiences, and the quality of life that your money can actually buy you? Because as we've just seen, that answer changes a lot depending on where you're standing.